Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Real Talk with Dr. Dean. I'm going to be talking about interracial marriages in the Muslim community and context. So, I don't know if you saw the video with Sheikh Al-Sikadi where I did a Q&A and asked him about an example of a interracial marriage, and what he said was really shocking. I wasn't even expecting it. I thought he'd say, yes, Islam allows interracial marriages and that's it. But he didn't actually say that.
And his only reason for saying no is that the son or the son-in-law is of a different ethnicity. This is not ideal, but I have to be very firm here and say, neither is it haram. Neither is it haram. The father has every right to put reasonable conditions. And of the reasonable conditions is, a person can say, look, I want a religious Muslim that is of my ethnicity.
And the reason is, and I'm going to tell you a bit about the background. So over the last over 10 years of youth work, I've come across a growing trend of I'd say, want for interracial marriages. I won't say actual interracial marriages. Reason is that a lot of them never happen. Some for family reasons, others because some kids are just too scared of their parents to actually go ahead with it, and they give up on the idea of marrying someone from a different race. But what is the reality of it? Like, what does Islam say, and what can we do about it? Because I'm finding more and more young Muslims, youth, want to marry from a different race. Now, what Sheikh Al-Sikadi said, if you watch this clip and you want to watch the full video, click the link, I think it's above here somewhere. He said that you can marry someone of a different race or ethnicity, but you also don't have to. And that's the key difference I didn't even think about. You can use evidence, but we have people that understand context as well of what and how to apply those laws and rules, or Islamic rules, in the real world. So yes, you can marry who you want, but you don't have to. Let me tell you what that actually means and what I'm seeing and what I've found. So I've met people that of different types when it comes to marrying of other races. Some people, they want to marry, genuinely they find somebody that's very, very compatible with them, and they want to marry them, but from a different ethnicity or different country or background, and the families just say, no way, you just can't do it. And there's no real valid reason for it. I totally get that. And that's where education is needed. And in that, before I forget, I want to talk about how I've seen youth, how they react to that. Some youth, they'll just rebel and try to get a nikah done privately, secretly. Others, they'll just fall into the pressure, and some, they'll just become really, really rude to their parents and have vociferous arguments and go crazy at them, and they just all this conflict and hatred, and then that leads to years and years of parents being upset with their kids, and nobody really wants that. Or just having a little wedding with your friends. So you don't even want that either. So you don't want that kind of conflict, and it's not always avoidable. But so there's that type of person that's going to wants to get married and has found the right person, and I get that, and go for it, but go for it in the right way. Consult your parents, consult your elders. Really, I know we think all uncles and aunties, they're all, what do they know? And they're all too cultured, and culture versus Islam. Not all culture is bad, Islam does allow culture, and cultures thrive in Islam. So let's not make everything in culture bad. For example, in culture, some cultures all cultures actually, in the Muslim community, respect your elders. That's an Islamic thing. Or go to see someone when they're unwell. That's an Islamic thing. So not all culture is bad, or habits that cultural norms have. They're not all bad. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. So you get the person that found the right person and they want to go with it. Then there's those that a lot of youth come under, and that's they want to marry because it's cool, because it's trendy, because it's different. I want a partner, I want a husband, wife who is of a different ethnicity because I want to be different. I want to look cool. And one of a better example, I want a white guy because it's different and it's cool. You know, and that's not always the case, but a lot of times it is. But there are other reasons for that. There's nothing wrong with that in Islam. But what I'm saying is, don't marry because it's cool or because it's different and you want to stand out. Do it because it's the right person. And that's the key message here. That's another type of Muslim youth that I'm seeing that is marrying, because they want to stand out, they want to do something different. And then there's the third that is like someone who is naive to what they're going into. What I mean by that is I've seen people that married somebody of a different race, interracial marriage, but there was complete clash, complete clash of lifestyles, families, diet, the food, So I had somebody who had married in a Somali family, and they were an Asian Pakistani background, and the families didn't get on, they didn't talk to each other, they would never meet each other, the food was different, the language was different, and at the end it just broke down. Now, one of the things that obviously is different now is that British Muslim youth or American Muslim youth or all the youth around in the Western world, their identity is Britain, America. It's not back home. So the youth that want to get married, they tend to have the commonality. They have things in common, and that's why they want to get married, and that's all good. It's when you realize later on that we're too different, or this is too weird for me, or I can't do this anymore. And unfortunately, I've seen people that have walked out of marriages because of that reason. So just be careful and look at those real world practical elements and sides of interracial marriage, and not just the emotional side. Yes, here's the evidence, you can do it. It's sunnah of the Prophet to have an interracial marriage, so it's all good. But look at those nuances, look at all those things that in the real world you need to deal with your parents, the family. Is this really what we want? Are we really compatible? Can we live our lives like this? For example, what if you marry somebody and your mum never accepts your spouse or your dad, and they'll never talk to them for the rest of their lives? And normally over a long period of time, they even if they're so against it, they will come round. But sometimes they don't. I've seen examples where 10, 20 years have gone by and the parents still don't talk to their son-in-law or daughter-in-law or their own daughter who married outside of the race, and they've just suffered that torture of their family, their parents not even talking to them. So that is not a reason not to marry, but it is a reason to consider and think about, because if you don't think about these things now, I don't want you going through that later, and then you're suffering, and then you're thinking, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. People have pulled out, sadly got divorced because they couldn't handle the pressure of seeing their mum not talking to them, or dad not talking to them, or whatever other issues happen. So the gist of it is, absolutely you're allowed to do it Islamically, but just think about, and my advice always is to do istikhara. Istikhara is like the golden ticket. It tells you exactly what to do. So I hope you like this video. I'm starting this whole series now. So this is about the real world, real issues Muslim youth have and parents have, and just real talk with Dr. Deen. Subscribe, follow, share, let everybody know. Assalamu alaikum. See you on the next one.